Magandang araw sa lahat ng nakikinig at nanonood ng isa na namang episode ng Health Justice Talks, usapang kalusugan at batas. Kasama niyo po ako ngayon, Patricia Reyes. At dahil Nutrition Month ngayong July, syempre ang ating talakayan ay kaugnay ng pagkain, healthy eating at nutrisyon. Para samahan tayo sa talakayan ngayon, kasama natin ang miyembro ng Steering Committee ng Social Watch Philippines at siya rin ay Board of Trustee ng The Policy Center, si Miss Jofty Villena. Hi, Ma'am
Hello,
Jofty.
Patricia. Maraming salamat at naimbitahan ako dito sa Health Justice Podcast ngayong araw na to.
Thank you po for your time. Okay, so simulan na natin, Miss Jofty.
Yes.
Ano ba ang mga food policies natin na existing o currently ini-implement dito sa Pilipinas?
Well, meron akong mga gustong i-highlight na mga policies na tingin ko ay mas makakatulong sa pag-unawa natin kung paano ba nakakasagabal or nagiging epektibong paraan yung polisiya para makamtan natin yung sinasabi nating enabling environment for healthy diets, healthy eating, food and nutrition. So siguro simulan ko dun sa recent na pagpasa sa mga administrative orders ng Department of Health and ng Food and Drug Administration yung tungkol sa pag-eliminate ng industrial trans fat. Ito ay nakakatulong kasi ngayon yung mga pre-packaged products or mga produkto na dating sinasamahan ng trans fat gaya ng margarine, creamer, cookies, at saka donuts, ay hindi na siya pwedeng mag-contain ng trans fat. Bakit nga ba problema yung trans fat? Kasi yung trans fat siya yung salarin sa pagkakaroon natin ng hypertension, pag-increase ng ating weight na nag-lead to obesity, at saka ng stroke. So yun yung isang tingin ko ay nakakatulong talaga para sa pag-prevent and control ng ating non-communicable diseases. Siguro yung pangalawa kong i-highlight na batas ay yung tungkol sa isang policy na ang nag-i-implement ay yung ating DILG, Department of Interior and Local Government. Ito yung kanilang mahalin at magtanim ng prutas at gulay or yung hapag, na kung saan doon talaga ay iniengganyo yung ating mga barangay na talagang mag-maintain na ng isang community garden na ang laman is are edible na mga gulay, At syempre yung pag-consume din ng prutas. Kaya nga halin at magtanim ng prutas at gulay. Doon gustong i-aim ng ating ahensya na ang lahat ng mga LGU sa pamamagitan ng barangay ay talagang matugunan yung problema sa hunger, food security, insecurity, pero at the same time, ay nutritious yung kakainin ng mga tao. Gulay at prutas, talaga very specific siya doon. So yun yung isang tingin ko din na makakatulong sa ating pagkakaroon din ng enabling environment kasi it provides access to these healthy food options na fresh produce. Na kung saan yun kasi din yung mamaya ililitan niya ko yung challenges about it. Tapos yung isa pa is yung Department Order 13 ng DepEd, Department of Education, na kung saan dito naman nagpo-provide ang canteens at saka yung mga DepEd institutions na yung kinukuha nila or pinoprocure nilang food ay healthy food and beverages din sa mga school canteens at sa mga DepEd offices. So maganda rin yon para naman sa learning institution kasi di ba tinitingnan na natin yung enabling environment not just in the community but also in the learning institutions or schools at saka syempre yung workplaces natin. Okay. So, and another one naman, yung mga pag-alaman ko na policies naman ng local government units, specifically ng Quezon City at saka ng Muntinlupa, is yung, for example, in Quezon City, there were the first LGU that implemented the healthy food procurement policy, na kung saan yung pera at pondo ng Quezon City LGU at lahat ng opisina niya na siya yung nagpapatakbo ay nagpo-procure lamang ng mga healthy food options or healthy food produce. Kumbaga kapag meetings, conferences, etc. So yun yung isang maganda na I think nakakatulong kasi access naman ng mga nasa opisina, access ng nasa government, ginagamit ng tama ang pondo dahil doon na pupunta yung mga pangangailangan naman sa pagkain ng mga empleyado, ng mga ka-meeting nila, pupunta sa kanila sa LGU. So it's a good practice, as if I may say that. And yung lastly, yung Muntinlupa government na recently sila yung nakakabag ng, if I'm not mistaken, the Green Banner Award from the National Nutrition Council. I think 3 beses yata yon. Meron silang resolution on lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, na kung saan nakalagay dun sa resolution nila yung pagkilala at pagbibigay importansya sa healthy lifestyle sa mga polisiyang gagawin nila, and yung again, procurement ng healthy food pa rin sa kanilang mga activities sa loob ng LGU, paggawa ng mga open spaces, safe and conducive spaces for physical activities, at pag-intensify din ng kanilang no smoking policy sa government, city government ng Munti.
Sa mga nabanggit mo, Ma'am Jofty, sapat ba yung ginagawa ng government para nga i-ensure na merong accessible, affordable food, nutritious food para sa mga Pilipino?
Siguro sa sapat, marami pang kailangang gawin. But of course, we have already made progress, no, sa mga those policies and programs na sinet up nila. But there's more na kailangang gawin ng government. For example, kung pupunta na tayo sa challenges, one of the challenges that I really see in the implementation of these policies is the fact that we wanted sana that the agricultural policy will be really integrated or very coherent with our nutrition policy. Why? Because the agricultural policies, ito yung sumasagot dun sa pangangailangan to address hunger, food insecurity. But it does, if you're hungry and you're food insecure, it doesn't necessarily have to be na ang iyong pagkain ay mura pero hindi siya healthy, no? Kinakailangan natin mapag-marry talaga yung dalawang yon, na integrated sila and coherent sila with one another to achieve yung pinapangarap natin na Healthy Philippines in 2040, yung one of the healthiest in Asia. So kung halimbawa gusto na ating government talaga matugunan yung hunger and food insecurity, might as well to be very comprehensive about it and not to just, hainan yung mga tao ng energy dense food, but nutritious food as well. So I think it's ito sa gustong aim noong hapag ng DILG na sana ay talagang mas marami pang LGU yung sumunod, mag-comply dito sa program na to. So I think yun yung isang kailangan nating matawid, yung integration and coherence of both agri and nutritional policies. Pangalawa naman na problema din natin sa food ay yung so isa yon, and then lacking na tayo sa intensive education din. I think yung intensive education by meaning na ikabit yung pag-uusap, yung narrative ng diet or non-communicable diseases, na malaking bahagi nito ay pagkain or our food policies. Kasi paano ba nagiging healthy yung isang tao kung ano yung pinapasok niya, 'di ba? Sa sa katawan niya. So I think yun yung isang maganda pang ayusin, tingnan, or mas i-implement pa, i-intensify yung health literacy and education among students, among people in general. Kasi while we have a lot of policies that are meant to address the malnutrition and overnutrition in the early years, but because they are foundational, we need to have those policies, the first 1,000 days and yung feeding program policy na masustansyang mga pagkain para sa malusog na bata. That is our complementary feeding program sa schools. But we need to continue on providing our people with healthy food options, not only in the schools, but later in life, ano? So, yun yung mga dapat gawin pa ng ating gobyerno.
Kailangan din ba natin ng additional collaboration with all different sectors, private, NGOs, government?
I think that is a very good point. Yes, we need to have that because the nutrition problem is not solved alone by, for example, the National Nutrition Council. It is solved by, I think, siguro cliche man or paski sinasabi na ito, but whole of government, whole of the society approach tayo, because there are things that the government can do based on their mandates. But of course, we need some push, encouragement, demand coming from the people, the population, and that's where the civil society organizations and people's organization can come in. And yung private sector, yes, I know that they have role, and marami sa mga polisiya na gusto nating i-implement ay may kinalaman sila kasi sila yung i-implement sa mga sarili nilang industriya, lalo na yung mga labeling, lalo na yung, for example, kung nagkaroon ng policies on taxation, etc., meron silang adjustment na kailangan gawin. So, I think compliance of the private sector really understand why the government and the CSOs needs to push the country to really live healthily. Huwag na silang masyadong parang ang tawag dito mag-resist, because there is a reason why these policies are put in place.
Paano ba natin, Ms. Jofty, masisiguro or mamomonitor na effectively implemented itong mga existing policies natin?
Siguro, in every policy that we do and in every program that we do, kailangan may integrated ng monitoring and evaluation mechanism and system na dapat sa umpisa pa lang ng policy or ng program, meron na silang set of indicators that they have to follow through. Hindi pwedeng porque nag-develop tayo, tas then we implement, tas pabayaan na natin, tapos na. No, hindi natatapos yung cycle. Kasi when you develop, then you implement, then you monitor, and then we saw, may kulang sa policy. So, anong mangyayari? So, when you monitor, when you evaluate, you get lessons learned. You pick up some lessons, and then you feed into the amendment of the policy. Ibig sabihin, mapapaganda pa yung policy by amending it, and then again the cycle. So, hindi natatapos yung trabaho once we pushed or passed a law or a policy. We need to complete the cycle, and the cycle is going to repeat itself. Meaning, we need to get lessons every time. Kasi hindi naman stagnant ang mga bagay, di ba? So, I think yun yung kailangan gawin sa simula pa lang.
For the Philippines ba, Ms. Jofty, parang wala pa tayong food labeling policy eh. Is it high time? Magkaroon na rin tayo ng ganyan?
Yes, of course. Actually, meron tayong mga systems na pinut in place. Like, when we passed the Food Safety Act, we incorporated in that law yung safety, paano ma-ensure ang safety ng pagkain. And that includes, informing the public but through labels, di ba? And then there is also a Consumer Act that we have that also, again, puts in that law how are consumers protected when they buy something, purchase something, use something like that. So, nandoon yung parang legal basis mo or framework mo para sabihin na kailangan may labels para nalalaman at well-informed ang mga tao at ma-inform yung choice talaga nila. Kasi alam nila, so they can decide well kung ano yung bibilhin nila, kakainin nila. So tingin ko, kung meron tayo dati na back of pack labeling, makikita naman natin sa lahat ng binibili natin. And I think there is a lot of improvement there na kailangan gawin kasi marami ang hindi nakakaunawa, marami ang hindi nakakabasa kasi sobrang liit, di ba? So I think it's high time not only to implement that thoroughly through by complementing it with education also on how to read labels, but also complement it with another kind of label na nakikita na natin sa ibang produkto sa ibang bansa, which is the front of pack labeling.
Yeah, and ba yun, ma'am, that can also help prevent non-communicable
Yes,
diseases.
that can help it because makikita doon kung high in sugar, high in fats, high in sodium, agad-agad. And the label should help see, for example, if you have a cart and your mother, you went to the grocery, then you choose, di ba? And then you saw that lahat ng binili mo, black. Black yung labels, di ba? Yung warning labels. Siyempre, ikaw bilang nanay, ay, teka, mukhang may mali akong ginagawa. And mapapaisip ako, mandadalawang isip ako, ay, hindi talaga dapat. Let's magkakaroon ng change in the behavior of the mother or kung sino man yung namimili ng pagkain sa bahay. And then, really have spend some time kung ano ba yung mga, actually, yung paganda ng front of pack, kita agad eh. So, we know that mothers have a lot of things na ginagawa and all of us also. Marami tayong busy tayo sa mga buhay-buhay natin. And yung isang kuha mo lang sa grocery, di ba? Gusto mo makita agad, ano bang meron dito sa kakainin ko? So, kita agad, and perhaps yun, magkaroon ng parang reflection no, habang ginagawa natin yun, no, yung mga magulang, yung mga mamimili natin, ay, teka muna, I need to change what I grab from the groceries.
Yan, okay. Kayo ba, ma'am, sa Social Watch and sa Policy Center, ano naman yung mga programs nyo to educate, raise more awareness on the link between healthy eating and prevention of NCDs?
Actually, sa Social Watch, matagal na tayong bahagi no, ng nagmo-monitor ng budget ng Department of Health. Matagal na rin tayong tumutulong sa policy, influencing policies on food, on water, sanitation and hygiene, on road safety. So basically, yung ginagawa namin is to really monitor the budget, see to it that if ever there will be programs and policies on FOPL, ay magkaroon to ng sapat na funds and sapat na taong mag-i-implement sa kanya. And we can also advocate for other policies related to labeling or that can also provide more funding for promotion and prevention of non-communicable diseases like sugar-sweetened beverage taxation, for example. And ano pa bang ginagawa namin? And patuloy lang kami sa pag-advocate bilang bahagi ng Healthy Philippines Alliance. We are nakikiisa kami doon sa mga panawagan ng ating mga kasama ng mga pasyente. For example, we've been also very active in the development of our CSO agenda on food, nutrition, and healthy eating. So gusto natin na kung ano yung nakalagay dun sa CSO agenda at mga panawagan natin, yun yung mga isusulong din natin. So that I think that's wala kami very specific program sa Social Watch, but we are helping in the advocacy and really sharing this to expand information and knowledge to everyone na nakakasalamuhan namin pagdating sa ating mga advocacy.
Baka may konting highlights lang tayo dun sa rekomendasyon natin based on the CSO food agenda.
Siguro yung pwede ko i-highlight is really to continue implementing the policies that we have, that I have shared, yung mga highlighted dating policies. And siguro magsama-sama tayo to develop and really push for the front of pack labeling, yung sumasalamin sa pulso ng mga tao, no? Because there are a lot of front of pack label versions. And there are a lot of how it looks like. kapag ka inilagay na siya sa harapan ng pagkain. And ang sana yung mamayani is that yung mga type of FOPL warnings or yung nakikita natin na nakasagon sa ebidensya at saka kung ano yung pinapropose ng ating mga kasama na mga CSOs, yung sinuportahan talaga ng mga tao. Doon yung isa, yung front of pack labeling.
Taxes, ma'am.
Taxes, yeah. Yung isa pa is that yung if ever na yun makapag-produce and develop na tayo ng additional taxes for sugar-sweetened beverages, and I hope that will be soon, ay mas suportahan din tayo ng mga tao to push for it. Kasi ito yung magbibigay talaga ng funds, additional funds, para mas marami pa tayong programa na ma-push or magawa for prevention control ng NCDs. And alam naman natin, Pat, na sa lahat ng mga programa ng DOH or programa natin, mas malaki pa rin talaga yung funding ng ibang mga aspects ng health like sa communicable diseases. Pero yung NCDs talaga na pag-iiwanan in terms of funding and resources. But hindi ko sinasabi na marami nag-support, marami nag-advocate. Pero kailangan natin yung ma-advocate din yung financing for it. Talagang we make sure that we intensify yung ating prevention and control programs with the use of that funding. Siguro continue pa rin tayo na bilang mga CSOs, as our role is to really inform our constituents, our groups ng mga programa ng Department of Health, programa natin, para matulungan sila na mag-advocate for themselves as well, and also malaman nila yung mga services ng government, of course, na kasi hindi naman palaging prevention. Minsan, kahit anong gawin natin, nagkakaroon tayo ng sakit, nakakasakit kaya nga tayo may mga patient groups, nakakasakit yung ating kapamilya ng non-communicable disease. So yung mga yon, mga bagay na yon, nangangailangan pa rin yun na ang focus ng attention at ng funding resources. So, bantayan din natin sila, yung mga batas natin na naipasa for cancer, for example, and for mental health. Those are non-communicable diseases also. So, yung mga magiging nating additional funds for through the taxes ng mga sugar-sweetened beverage ay makakatulong dun sa mga programa.
Okay, maraming salamat, Ms. Jofty. Panghuling mensahe na lang ngayong Nutrition Month sa public.
Ayun. Siguro, makiisa sa marami pang mga advocacies natin, makisama sa mga groups. Kung patient kayo, we call on you to be members of patient associations, patients organization, para makilaho kayo sa pangapanawagan natin in general, kasi gusto natin na maraming tao yung hindi magkasakit ang sakit natin, hindi ba? So, gusto natin that Filipinos are healthy, kahit ano man ang edad niya, kahit nasaan man siya, kahit ano pa mang serbisyo ang kailangan niya, makakuha siya ng dekalidad na serbisyo on time. Yun. So sa akin, patuloy lang po tayong mag-advocate at sumama sa mga grupo na makakatulong po sa atin na itaas yung boses ng mga patients at ng mga concerned citizen na gusto talaga makilahok sa marami pang mga policies at marami pang mga programa na para magkaroon ng awareness ang marami nating kababayan on non-communicable disease at syempre kahalagahan ng pagkain masustansya. Yun. At gusto ko din, I know it's not mostly nutrition, pero sikapin din natin na yung sumuporta dun sa mga initiative ng gobyerno on physical activities. Kasi although mas malaking porsyento naman talaga yung may kinalaman yung pagkain sa pagkakaroon natin ng sakit, but it helps to mitigate the impact kapag tayo ay may mga physical activities na ginagawa sa ating mga buhay.
Alright, salamat ng marami, Ms. Jofty.
Thank you
very much. Okay, so marami siguro tayong natutunan ngayong episode na to ng Health Justice Talks, Usapang Kalusugan at Batas. Para baka may i-invite kayo, makagain pa tayo ng mas maraming viewers at followers. May Facebook page ba kayo, Ma'am?
Facebook page, well, yung Healthy Philippines Alliance natin, yung ating puntahan, tapos yung ating Social Watch Philippines or Alternative Budget Initiative, health cluster, meron po yung separate na FB page, and yung mahaba, Center for Policy Studies and Advocacy on Sustainable Development or the Policy Center. So meron po rin yung separate na FB page.
Okay, at syempre, Health Justice, follow, like, subscribe, gayon din ang Healthy Philippines Alliance. Thank you everyone! Sa susunod ulit!